Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the show. I'm Nick.
And I'm Emily. Thanks for tuning in. Today's episode is gonna hit a little deeper than usual.
Yeah, this one's not just about grammar tips or pronunciation hacks. We're going beyond the language today.
Exactly. We're talking about something a lot of learners don't realize they're actually struggling with: belief. Not just in English, but in themselves.
You know, Emily, I've met so many learners who say things like, "I'm just not good at English," or "I'll never sound fluent." But honestly, most of the time, it's not even about English. It's about confidence.
Totally. It's that little voice in your head that says, you're not smart enough, or you started too late, or you always mess up. And when you believe that voice, it shows, not just in your English, but in everything you do.
And let's be real, learning a language is hard. But losing faith in yourself while you're doing it, that's even harder. So today, we want to remind you, it's okay to feel stuck. It's okay to feel like you're behind. But don't give up on yourself.
Because learning English isn't just about memorizing words. It's about growing, rebuilding your belief, and showing yourself what you're really capable of.
So, let's start with this. Have you ever noticed how much pressure people put on themselves when learning English?
Oh, for sure. Like, they think if they make one mistake, it means they're not good enough. But come on, mistakes are how we learn anything, right?
Exactly. I mean, remember when we first learned to ride a bike? We fell, we looked ridiculous, but we kept going. No one said, "Oh, you fell off once? Guess bikes just aren't for you."
Ha ha, true. But with English, people take it so personally. One bad speaking day, and suddenly they're questioning everything.
And I get it. Especially if you're learning as an adult. You already feel behind. Everyone seems better than you. You compare yourself, and boom, your confidence crashes.
Yeah, and the worst part is, people start to believe that they're just not language people. But that's not even a real thing. There's no language gene. It's all about consistency, mindset, and self-trust.
Right. And if you think back to the first time you ever tried to say something in English, even just "hello" or "how are you," that took courage. That moment? That was you betting on yourself.
That's such a good point. And you know what? Every time you keep going, even when it's hard, you're building something way more valuable than just vocabulary. You're building resilience.
Yeah, and resilience shows up in other parts of your life too. Like, maybe learning English helps you finally speak up in meetings. Or apply for that job. Or travel to that place you've been dreaming about for years.
I've seen that happen so many times. People come in just wanting to pass an English test and then, boom, a year later they're doing things they never thought possible.
And that's what we're really talking about today. English isn't just a subject. It's a doorway. A mirror. A way back to believing in your own potential.
Yes. And hey, let's also talk about that inner critic. You know, that voice that says, you're too slow, you'll embarrass yourself, or you're not smart enough.
The worst. But here's the truth, that voice is lying. Straight up lying. You are smart enough. You are capable. You just need to give yourself the same patience you'd give a friend.
Exactly. If a friend said, "Hey, I'm trying to learn a new language, but it's tough," you'd encourage them. You wouldn't say, "Well, maybe you should just quit." So why do we say that to ourselves?
We gotta change the way we talk to ourselves. Be your own coach, not your own bully.
And remember, you're not the only one struggling. Everyone, even the people who seem fluent, they've had their doubts too. They've had awkward conversations. They've frozen mid-sentence. It's all part of it.
Fluency isn't perfection. It's comfort in your own mistakes. It's being able to say, oops. Let me try again, and not feel like the world's ending.
I love that. And maybe today, someone listening just needs to hear that they are allowed to try again. That they don't have to be perfect to be proud of how far they've come.
That they don't have to earn their right to be confident. Confidence comes from showing up, again and again, even when it's messy.
Even when your grammar's off. Even when your accent's thick. Even when your words come out slower than you want them to. You're still learning. You're still moving forward.
So if you've been doubting yourself lately, here's your reminder, you're doing better than you think. This journey? It's not just about English. It's about rebuilding trust in yourself.
And honestly, that's the most powerful thing you'll ever learn.
You know, I was talking to a student the other day, and she said, I understand everything in my head, but when I try to speak, I freeze.
Oh yeah, I've heard that so many times. That freeze moment isn't just about vocabulary or grammar, it's fear. Fear of being judged. Fear of sounding wrong. Fear of not being good enough.
Exactly. It's not that her English is bad. It's that she doesn't trust herself to use it out loud. And that's the part no one talks about enough.
We don't realize how much language learning is emotional. People carry old insecurities with them. Like, maybe someone laughed at their accent once, and ever since then, they've been scared to speak.
Or maybe in school, they were told they weren't smart enough or too slow to learn. And now, every time they try to study, that voice comes back.
It's so sad, because that stuff sticks. But here's the thing, the moment you decide to start learning again, that's already proof that you're stronger than your past.
Yeah, it takes guts to come back after failing. It takes real strength to say, okay, I'm starting again, even if I'm scared, even if I feel behind.
And honestly, that's what real learning is. Not showing off what you know, but showing up when you don't.
Exactly. And that's why I love working with learners who've been through tough stuff, because they've got this fire in them. They've already fought through self-doubt just to be in the room.
So if you're listening and you've ever felt like giving up, trust me, we get it. But don't count yourself out just yet.
You're allowed to struggle. You're allowed to move slow. You're allowed to mess up 100 times. What matters is that you keep going.
I mean, think about it. Babies don't care if they sound ridiculous. They just keep babbling until one day, the words start making sense.
Right. But somewhere along the way, we get self-conscious. We start worrying about what other people think, and that kills our progress.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that holds people back isn't lack of skill, it's shame. And shame grows in silence.
Wow, that's powerful. Shame grows in silence.
Yeah. That's why talking about it matters. Sharing your struggles. Laughing at your own mistakes. Asking questions. That's how you take your power back.
You don't need to be fluent to be proud of yourself. You don't need a perfect accent to be heard. You don't need to pass a test to prove you're trying.
Sometimes the biggest win of the day is just showing up. Opening your notebook. Pressing play on that podcast. Saying one sentence out loud. That counts.
That totally counts. We tend to look for big wins, but growth lives in the small daily things. The boring stuff. The repetition. The quiet progress.
And you don't have to do it alone. There's a whole community of learners out there, struggling just like you, rising just like you.
And if no one's told you this today, we're proud of you. Not because you're perfect, but because you haven't given up.
You're here. You're learning. You're growing. And that means something.
More than you know.
You know what's interesting, Nick? A lot of people think the turning point is when they finally get English. But I think the real turning point is when they stop being afraid of being seen trying.
Yes. That shift, from hiding to trying, that's huge. I remember a guy in one of my classes who barely spoke for months. Then one day, he raised his hand and gave the most broken, awkward answer, but everyone clapped.
Oh, I love that. Because it's not about how clean the sentence is, it's about the courage it took to say it out loud.
Exactly. And after that moment, he started participating more. He still made mistakes, sure, but now he wasn't hiding anymore. And his progress? It shot up.
That's because progress follows confidence. Not the other way around. People wait to feel ready before they speak, but sometimes, you have to speak before you feel ready.
You gotta give yourself permission to be a beginner. To sound weird. To pause mid-sentence. It's part of the deal.
And honestly, nobody's paying as much attention to your mistakes as you think. Most people are just impressed that you're trying at all.
Totally. Like, when someone tries to speak to me in my language, even if they mess up every sentence, I don't judge, I admire them. I'm like, wow, you're actually putting in effort.
Same. But we rarely give ourselves that same grace. We expect to be perfect on day one. It's kind of ridiculous when you think about it.
It really is. And that perfectionism? It steals joy. It makes learning feel like punishment instead of discovery.
Learning a language should feel like building something, not fixing something that's broken.
Yes. It's not about fixing yourself. It's about expanding yourself. Like, learning English isn't just about talking to more people. It's about becoming more you, more bold, more curious, more alive.
That's so real. I've seen students become more confident not just in English, but in life. They speak up more. They apply for things they used to avoid. They walk taller.
Because learning English trains more than your brain, it trains your identity. You're proving to yourself, I can learn hard things.
And that belief doesn't stop at English. It spills into everything. Suddenly you're thinking, if I can do this, what else can I do?
That's what's beautiful about this whole journey. It starts with language, but it ends with transformation.
And sometimes, the hardest part is just taking that first small step. Watching a video. Opening a book. Repeating a sentence out loud.
And sometimes, it's getting back up after you've stopped. Like, maybe you quit for a few months, or even a few years. That's okay. You can come back. You're allowed to start again.
There's no rule that says, you failed once, so you're done forever. You're human. Life happens. But guess what? Every time you return to learning, you're saying, I still believe in me.
And that's what this episode's really about. Not just verbs and vocab. It's about that quiet but powerful decision to keep showing up for yourself.
Even if it's messy. Even if it's slow. Even if no one else sees it. You know what you're building. You know what it means.
So don't underestimate those small moments. They're changing you, even if it doesn't feel like it right away.
You know what's wild, Nick? Sometimes the most powerful thing a learner can do isn't studying harder. It's just being a little kinder to themselves.
Yes. Like, instead of saying, I'm so bad at this, they start saying, hey, I'm learning. It's okay to not be perfect.
That one shift changes everything. It makes the process less painful and way more sustainable.
Totally. When you beat yourself up every time you make a mistake, your brain starts connecting English with shame and frustration. But when you're gentle with yourself, your brain feels safe. And when you feel safe, you actually learn better.
And honestly, the people who make fast progress aren't the smartest, they're usually the most patient.
Right? They keep going, even when it's boring. Even when it's slow. even when they feel stuck. Because deep down, they believe, I can get better.
Exactly. They are not chasing perfection. They are building trust, with the process and with themselves.
And that trust takes time. It's like going to the gym. You don't get strong after one workout. But if you keep showing up, the strength builds, little by little.
I love that comparison. Because language learning is totally like fitness. Some days it feels amazing, and other days you're like, why am I even doing this? But you keep going, because you know the results are coming.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, those little efforts add up in ways you don't even notice. Like, suddenly you understand a sentence in a movie without subtitles, and you're like, wait, did I just get that?
Best feeling ever. Or when you answer someone in English automatically, and don't even realize it until later.
That's when you know it's working. Even if it doesn't always feel like it on the surface.
And that's why I always tell learners, stop obsessing over how far you still have to go. Just notice how far you've already come.
Yes. Remember when you didn't know a single word? When even hello felt scary? Look at you now. You're listening to an English podcast. That's huge.
It really is. You don't give yourself enough credit sometimes. You think progress is only about test scores or fluency levels, but honestly, progress is when you stop quitting.
That part. When you stop quitting on yourself, you start rewriting your story.
And let's be real, everyone has doubts. Even native speakers mess up, forget words, freeze up in conversations.
All the time. I forget words in English constantly. I say weird sentences. It happens. Language is messy, even for pros.
So if you're waiting for the day when you'll feel 100% confident, you might be waiting forever. The goal isn't to be fearless. It's to move forward with the fear.
Exactly. Feel the fear, and speak anyway. Because every time you do, the fear gets a little quieter, and you get a little stronger.
And soon, those small brave moments pile up. One conversation. One sentence. One new word. That's how belief is built, not all at once, but piece by piece.
It's like you're rebuilding your relationship with yourself. Proving, hey, maybe I'm not as weak as I thought.
Maybe I'm smarter than I was told. Braver than I believed. Stronger than I used to be.
And that realization? That's way more powerful than any grammar rule.
Absolutely. Because once you believe in yourself again, truly, deeply, the rest becomes possible.
So if you're listening to this right now and you've been doubting yourself, maybe thinking you're too slow, too old, too behind, just remember, you're still here. You're still trying. And that already makes you stronger than you think.
Totally. Learning English isn't just about words. It's about rewriting the story you tell yourself. It's about saying, hey, maybe I can do this after all.
And you can. Even if it takes time. Even if the road isn't perfect. Just keep showing up, for your dreams, for your growth, for you.
Because at the end of the day, English is just a tool. But the real reward, it's rediscovering your own courage. Your own voice. Your own belief.
And we're cheering you on every step of the way.
Always. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
We'll catch you in the next one.
Take care, and keep believing in yourself.